What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mic Check Podcast. This is T Word, the People's Champ. Thanks for tapping in. Today, we're talking about Alycia Baumgardner versus Christina Linardatou and the DAZN boxing card from Saturday, July 15th. But before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate the feedback. Almost there for these super thanks, super chats, and super stickers. We need about 117 watch hours. So if you're interested, feel free to tap into a playlist and let it run and hook us up with some watch time. You heard? All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alycia Baumgardner was on the schedule to avenge the only loss on her professional record against Christina Linardatou, something that happened back in 2018, so roughly 5 and some change years ago. And this was expected to be a pretty competitive fight. When you're going into a fight with somebody that's already beat you, there's already a mental aspect that you must overcome. And it was a big deal for her. She was also in her hometown, so that kind of set the table for a lot of exciting action. Now, quickly, before we get to the analysis of her fight, I do want to talk about Jermaine Franklin, somebody that we saw versus Anthony Joshua, and we also saw him versus Dillian White. Very competitive, scrappy fighter, tough SOB, put on a good performance. He's just he's not going to have the prettiest fights. He's a very mean, nasty fighter. It's always gritty when he's in there. Every fight I've seen him in, it's been gritty. He's just got the 2 losses that we know of, and I believe a draw. But he came out with the win against a guy, last name Munoz, who was very competitive, just tough. I guess competitive isn't the right word because I don't think he gave much back to Franklin, but I thought he was just tough. Franklin was having a hard time hitting him with everything, including the kitchen sink, and the guy just wouldn't go down, wouldn't go out. So he made it to the final bell, but it was just a real tough fight, and Franklin grinded it out. And that's what you got to do sometimes, especially in the heavyweight division. If you want to keep your name in here, you got to beat the guys that are put in front of you to be beaten, even if you don't KO them. So shout out to him for getting the dub. Next up was Andy Cruz. Cruz looked super sharp in his pro debut. He did what he had to do, man. He came out there. His hands were fast. His footwork was great. He didn't seem like he got too high or too low in the fight. Even though he's a high energy guy, it seemed like he was very much under control, working within his strategy. I got to give him credit. Bozy Ennis and those guys helped him look like a pro. The one thing that's probably going to be a little bit of a concern, and we'll see how it goes in the next few fights. I mean, he jumped right in the 10-rounder in fight number 1. You just don't do that. So we'll see how it goes when he gets in there with somebody else, and if he can get a knockout, because I'm a little concerned about power. But it's too early to tell, so I'm not going to harp on that. I thought it was a very good performance by him. The hand speed, the combinations, the footwork, the ring generalship, intelligent pressure, all the things required to score in rounds. He did all those things when necessary, and it was a nice, easy victory for him. Now, back to the main event. Alycia Baumgardner, she came in ready to get it done. They both had really interesting ring walks. The music plays, the ladies walk out, and they both did a little dance, and it even felt like it might have lingered a little too long. But that aside, early on, I felt like the dance battle to the ring was more competitive than the actual fight. And then later, Linardatou started to come on, and you could see that she really wanted to continue the fight, because there's one point, if you listen to the corner tracks, despite Tony Harrison talking kind of wild and crazy, he did say that he didn't feel like Linardatou wanted to be there, going to get her out of there. So he was sending AB kind of on a crash dummy mission, in my opinion, because you have a fighter that's known to gas out, and you're sending them on attack mode for an opponent that was just content to just survive. That can lead to you getting caught with something sneaky late. And fortunately, Linardatou just didn't have the power to give AB anything to stop her, because around the 6th, 7th round, AB was gassed out again. And she doesn't have the same reasoning that she did when she went undisputed. So I'm wondering if there's some changes that need to be made to her regimen to help her not just burn out at the end of fights, because you're asking for Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron. These are women who go forward throughout the end. Now, Katie Taylor wears down at the end too. So, but she's a bigger fighter who can outpunch you. So you put yourself at a disadvantage against these people. But in here against Linardatou, she faded, but she didn't have to pay the consequences for it on this night. And she was able to win a homecoming and look good doing it. I felt like I gave her 7 out of 10 rounds. I think most of the judges had a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. So, you know, it was pretty obvious who the winner was and how this fight was going throughout. And she showed up and showed out for her people. She seemed really happy and excited. She got that monkey off her back. And then she even said something like, I told her that baby took something out of her. Linardatou has had a child since their fight. She said, I told her that baby took something out of her. So, maybe that's what it was. I think they're 6 years apart, and Linardatou is fading in her career, period, not just on that particular night. This is just what's left of the previous version of her. Previous version of her. So it is what it is. Everybody fades at some point, and this may be the first time seeing it for her, and this was just a good payday for her. I'm sure they paid her well to go into this young lady's hometown and get this fight. So good fight overall, I thought. She fought to the end, and she threw punches throughout. So you got to give her credit for that. But shout out to AB for coming in, looking great, performing great, and getting out there with a dub. I just need her to get that strength and conditioning together. But we'd love to get you guys' thoughts. This has been T for the Mic Check Podcast. Until the next time I'm out. Peace.